Good evening. Thanks for joining us at Awaz News. I'm Kubrali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Austin Matthews to miss second straight playoff game with Leafs facing elimination. Suspect sought after person knocked unconscious during downtown Toronto altercation. Pro-Palestinian protesters set up encampment on UFT campus. SIU investigating separate deaths of two men in Toronto. Police release photo of suspect wanted in Yonge Dundas Square stabbing. SIU releases new details about victims of fatal wrong-way collision on Highway 401 in Whitby. Far-reaching associated risks. Police in Halton region urge students to not play Assassin's Game. Those were the headlines, and now let's jump through the details. Toronto police have released a photo of suspect who allegedly stabbed a stranger at Yonge Dundas Square on Tuesday evening. Police were called to the downtown spot at around 9:15 p.m. for stabbing. They learned that a man and a woman had an interaction which escalated into him stabbing her. Police said the victim, who did not know the suspect, was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect is described as having a thin build, short black wavy hair, and a mustache. He was last seen wearing a black jacket, black beanie, blue plaid shirt, blue jeans, and black and white running shoes. Police ask anyone who can identify the suspect and know his whereabouts to contact them at 416-808-5200 or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 416-222-TIPS-8477 or www.222tips.com. A number of pro-Palestinian protesters breached a fenced area and set up an encampment on the University of Toronto campus early Thursday, going to stay there until their demands are met. The protesters moved in at around 4 a.m. and set up a few dozen tents on the lawn at King's College Circle. The university had erected fencing to prevent an encampment there, but the protesters got around it. Several police vehicles quickly arrived on scene, but there have been no clashes so far. The protesters are calling for the university to divest from companies with military ties to Israel and cut ties with some Israeli universities. Erin McKay of the group of U of T Occupy for Palestine told Awaz News that her group decided to start an encampment after their occupation of the president's office failed to yield results. The University of Toronto has divested from South African apartheid. They had divested from fossil fuels, so this is not something new. Students have been making this demand of this university since 2006, McKay said. And a few weeks ago, we held an occupation of our president's office and we had a meeting with the president and were given absolute non-answers. We are not having the conversation in good faith and there was no negotiation, so we decided to escalate. McKay told Awaz News that investments in the companies with ties to the Israeli military amount to complicity in ongoing genocide. The International Court of Justice is investigating whether Israel has committed acts of genocide during the war but has made no final determination. Israel, for its part, has rejected all allegations of wrongdoing. Pro-Palestinian encampments have cropped up at numerous universities in the US, along with several in Canada, such as McGill and UBC. Some protests in the US have resulted in clashes with authorities, with some protesters refusing to leave until their demands are met and some police services responding by forcibly removing them. Toronto police told Awaz News that U of T has not asked for their help so far. Video posted on social media has shown encampment protesters barrage Jewish students and staff from entering some US campuses. No such incidents have been reported at U of T. Hillel, the main Jewish student organization on campus, said in a statement that Jewish students on campus have been at the forefront of rising hate directed at Jewish, and they expect the university to enforce its rules if required. A Quebec judge on Wednesday rejected a request from Jewish students for an injunction to stop the encampment at McGill, citing concerns about free speech. The campus protests are the latest incarnation of protests which have gone on for months around the Israel-Hamas war. The war erupted after Hamas, a militant group deemed a terrorist organization by the Canadian government, killed some 1,200 people and seized around 240 captives in a surprise attack in Israel on October 7th. Israel responded with airstrikes and a ground offensive in Gaza, killing more than 34,000 Palestinians, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. Ontario's police watchdog is investigating the separate deaths of two men in Toronto. According to Special Investigations Unit SIU, a 23-year-old man was initially apprehended by Peel Regional Police in Brampton on April 25th. The SIU said officers received a call for service at the Circle K near Chinguacousy and Mavis Roads, and when they arrived, they located a person of interest. Upon querying his name, they realized the man was wanted by Toronto Police Service (TPS). The SIU said the man was subsequently transported to a TPS police station. The SIU said that man was transported to hospital at some point. The agency did not say when and why he was hospitalized. On Wednesday, the man died in hospital. The SIU said a post-mortem examination was conducted Thursday morning. The agency has assigned one investigator and one forensic investigator to the case. The SIU is also looking into the circumstances surrounding the death of a 34-year-old man in Scarborough on Thursday morning. According to the agency, a man contacted emergency medical services to report that his son was in distress and was running in traffic near Ellesmere and Kennedy Roads. Police and paramedics arrived and tried to help the man, the SIU said. Shortly after the man went vital signs absent, he was transported to hospital where he was pronounced deceased, the agency said. 3 investigators and 1 forensic investigator has been assigned to this case. The SIU, which investigates the conduct of a police that resulted in death, serious injury, or sexual assault, asks anyone with information about the 2 cases to call 1-800-787-8529 or submit evidence online. Ontario Special Investigations Unit SIU has released new details about the victims of a fatal wrong-way collision in Whitby on Monday night. In a release, the SIU said that 2 of the victims, a 60-year-old man and a 55-year-old woman, were visiting from India. The couple's 3-month-old grandson also died in a multi-vehicle collision, which closed Highway 401 near Highway 412 for several hours. The civil agency said that the parents of the infant, his 33-year-old father and 27-year-old mother, were traveling in the same vehicle and were taken to the hospital. The agency also said that there were 2 people inside the cargo van that was involved in the crash. The van's 21-year-old driver was pronounced dead at the scene, while a 38-year-old male passenger was taken to the hospital to be treated for serious injuries. The autopsies for the victims all happened in Toronto on Wednesday. Officials have said the deadly car chase started with a liquor store robbery in Bowmanville and ended around 20 minutes later after the suspect led Durham police on high-speed chase against opposing traffic on Highway 401. The SIU has designated 2 subject officials and 4 witness officials to the investigation. 7 investigators, 1 forensic investigator, and 1 collision reconstructionist continue to investigate this case, it said. The SIU is an arm's-length agency called in to investigate whenever police are involved in death, serious injury, or allegations of sexual assault. Austin Matthews was back on the Scotiabank Arena ice. That won't be the case when his Maple Leafs once again face elimination Thursday night. Head coach Sheldon Keefe said, following the morning skate, the Star Sniper would be unavailable for Game 6 with Toronto down 3-6 in its first-round playoff series against the Boston Bruins. Matthews was called from Game 4 with an illness and didn't suit up in Tuesday's 2-1 overtime road victory at TD Garden, as the Leafs kept their hopes alive. The 26-year-old center, who led the NHL with the league's first 69-goal regular season in almost 3 decades, skated Wednesday and again Thursday for about 30 minutes before Toronto's playing group took the ice. But the team's best player will once again have to watch with the Leafs, who were minus star winger William Nylander for the first 3 contests of the best-of-7 matchup again on the brink. Game 7, if necessary, would be Saturday in Boston. The 3-time Morris Rocket Richard Trophy winner as the NHL's top goal scorer. Matthews had a monster 3-point Game 2 to help Toronto even the series 1-1, but didn't look like himself 2 nights later in a 4-2 loss. He then missed practice Friday for what the team initially called maintenance. Matthews was on the ice Saturday morning ahead of Game 4 and tried to give it a go before being pulled from the action by doctors in the second intermission of the disappointing 3-1 setback that left no margin for error. The Leafs have a pair of victories without Matthews in 2023 to 2024, including a 7-0 regular season victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins in mid-December. Leafs rookie winger Nick Robertson said there is a desperation aspect without Matthews in the lineup. Police in Halton region are advising parents and students about the dangers associated with the viral TikTok trend known as Assassin's Game following a series of recent incidents. While Halton Regional Police Service HRPS has not said exactly what occurred, they did say officers responded to 4 calls related to the game in the past week. One of those calls led to charges being laid against 2 minors from Georgetown, police added. Investigators said that the Assassin's Game is usually played by high school students and involves them hunting or assassinating one another with water or Nerf-style guns. These so-called assassinations can happen in different settings in public at all times of the day and night, they said. Police also noted that some of the guns used have resembled real firearms. In many instances, observers unaware the game is being played have contacted police, HRPS said. Notwithstanding the fear and elevated emergency response the game can cause, there is a potential of those who participate in it to face a number of consequences up to and including criminal charges. As a result, police are discouraging youth from playing the Assassin's Game and urging parents to speak to their children about its far-reaching associated risks. Police said they are issuing with warning to ensure the safety of members of the public and to eliminate the risk of an unnecessary and serious encounter with officers. We recognize that the vast majority of these cases involve young people playing and that no harm is intended. Staff Sergeant Ryan Snow of HRPS Regional Community Mobilization Bureau said in a news release. In saying this, these activities are resulting in unintended consequences that place participants, members of the community, and first responders at the risk. The Halton Regional Police Service encourages youth to think carefully, to make good decisions, and to understand that their participation in this game can result in criminal charges. Parents are also encouraged to talk with their children about how their actions can affect others. Police are searching for a man who allegedly knocked a person unconscious in downtown Toronto on Wednesday morning. Officers responded to an assault call in the area of Blue Jays Way and King Street West shortly before noon. Police said a group of people attending a party got into an altercation and an individual was kicked in the head, rendering him unconscious. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to the hospital, police said. On Thursday, police released photos of the suspect described as male, 6'2", with a stocky build, short black hair, and a full beard. He was last seen wearing a white coat, white t-shirt, and a black pants. Police said the suspect also had on a black jacket. In addition, police are also seeking to speak to a person of interest in the incident. He is believed to have brown hair, clean-shaven, last seen wearing a black jacket, black shirt with a design on the front, gray pants, and white and gray shoes. Police have also released his photo. Anyone with the information is asked to contact police at 416-808-5200 or Crime Stoppers anonymously at 416-222-TIPS 8477 or www.222tips.com.
This was all from us today. I'm Kubra Ali, and I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.